Such a contrast from Barnes.
A very deliberate shot from him. Didn't look a lot wrong with that, but the 10 pins left again. That troublesome 10.
Yes, every shot in the pocket so far.
I'm just trying to think, Cass, if we've actually seen Chris Barnes leave anything but a 10 when he has had to spare.
Can't think of at the moment.
A bit like Paul Moore leaving the 8, really. It just happens time and time again, if it is going to happen at all.
Through the 200 barrier goes Chris Barnes.
Bit of play acting from the crowd there. Never in danger.
Well, he didn't think so, did he? Hard and straight.
Oh, just hung on.
Straight as a gun barrel that was, wasn't it? Yeah, you can hear it.
So 5-5-8 now, the potential overall score. But he's on for a 2-5-8 game in this opening encounter. Palermaa, if he strikes out from here, he's also on for 2-5-8, so it's not as big a gap as you might think.
Oh, can we have a tie?
Oh, no, we can't. Sorry about that.
Absolutely, rings that 9 pin in the pocket. Just so much power going through between that 1 and the 3 pin. The ball has cut its way through, missed the 9 pin totally, and that's why it's standing there. A strike there would have closed the gap to just 11 pins, but it's not to be.
So 237 now, the maximum that Palermaa can make. Spares in the foundation frame. That's not what he was looking for. Now, what has Barnes got? Can he maintain the pressure? It's not all over yet, and Palermaa reacting quite fiercely there. Business end then of this first game. Barnes to see if he can make it happen once more. He's had a 4-bagger, he's had a turkey, and that's not a bad opening effort.
The difference remains 21 pins. But that's a 4-6 split.
Gonna be open, isn't it?
That will be an open frame, yes. Dear, oh dear, where did he go wrong there? That one really rode up high, didn't it?
Well, I'll have to take the blame for that one, saying that the only thing we ever leave, or Chris Barnes ever leaves, is a 10 pin.
Looks to me as they might have thrown it out just a little bit wider than normal and got a better reaction or overreaction in the back end, which sent it high on the head pin. Spare for a 235. Open for 235.
So Barnes has got a few things to think about before he comes out again, and he's going to have plenty of time to think about it as well, because Palermaa is going to, well, he hopes have the deliveries to knock off this first game, and then he will be the bowler that opens up in the second game. So Barnes is going to be away from the lane for a couple of minutes now.
You know, I think Chris has just realised that possibly the lane's changed him in the last couple of frames, and especially on that last shot. I mean, even a spare and a spare and a strike, they would have been good, but an open frame at that time, just what he didn't want. Gives Osku the chance to shoot 3 strikes and go through 237 and lead after 1 game. What a turnaround that was.
Well, I like that from Osku. He's just taken his time. He's let the great man sit for a while. Oh, but it hasn't quite paid off. Needed a strike to really back that initial plan up. So needs a spare for the bonus.
Yeah, a strike on that bonus would give 226. And he'll be trailing by 9. But that's acceptable.
It ain't over, is it?
It certainly isn't. 9 pins down against Chris Barnes after 1 game is no mean feat. And he'll certainly be in play for game number 2.
Good work.
Spare earns himself a bonus ball in the 10th frame.
Wants a strike here.
He's certainly working up a sweat, isn't he? Under these television lights and the pressure that Barnes is putting on him. Probably one of the biggest matches that young Osku's ever played on a bowling lane. He is the reigning World Cup champion. Should be used to some pressure, but then Chris Barnes alone brings pressure.
Oh no, Tenpin stays. Standing to attention, not a huge difference in the final score, 225 instead of 226. It's a 10-pin difference at the end of our first game. and this match is still very much alive. Palermaa still living with Barnes.
Only a 10-pin difference between Palermaa and Barnes. The pressure is really getting to our players. Find out who makes it through to the semi-final after the break. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters. Tonight the legend Chris Barnes is up against Osku Palermaa and things are really hotting up in the lane. Let's get back to the action.
Well, maybe a touch closer than quite a few people expected, Cass, but there was always that potential, wasn't there, for Palermaa to stay with Barnes.
Well, it was the big open frame in frame number 10, the 4-6 split, which cost Chris. Took him down to from 250 down to 230. So that's what we'll be looking to do. Have no open frames. If he can strike and hit the pocket as well as he did, he should be safe, but it's just so tight to call, isn't it?
Hold on to your seats, here we go again. Palermaa demolishes the first frame, and I do mean demolish.
Yeah, power and rotation in the 1-3 pocket. Demolition job on those pins.
God dear, well, he's really fizzed that one down. We hear from our stats man Andy Penny, he's just put that ball down at 613 revs per minute.
Pretty high.
But a strike's a strike is a strike, and Barnes responds.
Absolutely, yes, back on his normal line. Tight and straight, just a little bit of rotation at the end, and that'll do for me. All he wants to do is keep that there for another 11 shots. He'll be the winner and we'll have a 300 game.
Cass Edwards breaking ranks early on the 300 game prediction. Palermaa then looking to work this strike.
Honestly, it was just a passing comment. Osku's on one as well.
I've really enjoyed watching this lad bowl. Cracking stuff. Well, I think there's going to be quite a few youngsters out there watching Palermaa in action and thinking 2 hands is for me.
They'll have to think a long time. It's taken Osku many years to develop this. From a very young age. Obviously the weight of the bowling balls were too heavy, so he used 2 hands. Found it to his liking and stayed with it, and has developed into something absolutely unique, along with the likes of Jason Belmonte. Devastating power they generate onto that bowling ball.
And both these guys here at this tournament, at the moment, both still in. Barnes then also working a strike. Oh, bit of luck.
Yeah, Chris is looking down at his feet as if he was not quite in the right place, but that ball took off early, went high through the head pin, and yet again it was that 4-9 split that we've seen on numerous occasions. He's looking for 10. Just inside his mark, that's why it's gone high. There's the 4-9 split, and he gets the fortunate tap on the 9 pin. A little bit disappointed with that. Out comes his hard spare ball, straight at this 4 pin.
I was just trying to remember, there was one game last year when Chris Barnes had to fight for his life, and he freely admits that he felt he got a bit lucky in the game. But was it against Remiong? Did he get a great start against him in the semi, and then he just fell away and hung on to it by the skin of his teeth?
I remember the match against Mike Schmidt, who
might have been
7
Schmidt
in a row, and unfortunately had a big open frame in frame either 9 or 10, which let Chris in.
Yeah, you're right, Cass, that's the one.
And it was just a 5-pin victory, and it was a big open frame that cost Mike Schmidt there. So when you start stringing strikes together, if you get an open frame, it's so expensive. It's a big difference.